When you look at video games today, first-person shooters have dominated the market for a long time. I mean, look at the top-selling games every year. It's honestly kind of sad. In the past 20 years alone, it has become arguably the most saturated genre in the entire industry. This was not always the case, though. First-person shooters used to look like this. Don't get me wrong, these games are some all-time classics, but there was a reason they weren't super popular at the time. They usually looked like shit, and in the case of Wolfenstein 3D, the levels feel like these huge mazes with tons of doors you can't open. Mix that with the archaic shooting, and it leads to an experience that feels confusing and outright messy. Also, every time you shoot a guy, he goes, John Carmack and the industry legends at id Software spent the early 90s founding the first-person shooter genre with Wolfenstein 3D. They had struck something special, and they had something even more enticing on the way. It was Doom, this frenetic, edgy, satanic romp through hell. Guns, demons, killing shit, enough said. Now if you were a 90s kid, you knew this better than anyone, because you were playing Doom. I mean, this game was huge. From 1993 to 1995, an estimated 20 million people played this game. 20 million fucking people. For how niche PC gaming was back then, I cannot underestimate how big this number is. Most games today don't even reach those heights in their entire lifetimes. For its time, there just wasn't much like it. Playing Doom was fast, simple, and satisfying. Gameplay-wise, it was essentially the same as Wolfenstein, running from space to space looking for keys to progress, all while dodging and blasting baddies with your guns. But Doom had a better emphasis on level, world, and enemy design. These made the enemies stand out from the backgrounds and gave the game a distinct visual identity from whatever this is. And with how easy it was to mod, everyone was making their own spins on Doom. Adding new mechanics, enemies, guns, sounds, you name it. From high school sophomores to aspiring developers in the scene, Doom may be one of the most modded video games ever made. For years, developers wanted to recapture this lightning in a bottle, even id themselves, to varying success. We saw many more meaningful steps forward in shooter games over years to come, but even 3 decades later, Doom is still a landmark title for the medium, and is so important for progressing the now most popular genre in video games. 'Cause yeah, killing stuff in video games is cool.